Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. If not, well, hang in there. It'll get better. Just, Alright. Tonight I wanted to try something a little bit different with my tiny leader type of deck. So I built a mono green Mirri Cat Warrior tiny leader deck. Although the way the deck works, you don't necessarily have to play Mirri, you could play any green legend. Azusa is an interesting idea, but it's a different type of deck. Azusa is a very different type of deck. I'll probably end up building one. But actually the funny thing about how this deck works, it's actually a mill deck. A mono green mill deck. By mill I mean taking the top card off your opponent's library and putting it into their graveyard. They don't draw it. They won't get to play it. They might get it out of the graveyard, but the point is we're going to either deal enough damage to kill them, or we're going to get so many cards off the top of their library that they'll go to draw and lose the game because they can't draw a card. So this deck is not the deck box. Instead, I'm going to be using this is my Infect Tiny Leader deck. I haven't gotten a chance to show it to anybody yet, and that's the Infect Commander Jund colors. It's not all that great, but what we're going to do is we're going to keep track of the amount of damage we're dealing and the number of cards we're milling off. Now, I might not actually get any cards milled. In fact, we'll call it at 25 damage or whatever happens. I don't expect to take any damage playing this deck, so set that aside. We'll try and, I guess, keep track of how many turns we take anyway. But let's shuffle up. Like I said, this is a completely different type of deck strategy. Fast for green, it will deal lots of damage, of course, but the mill strategy is the fun part of this because, well, it's enough to throw your opponent off just a little bit because they're losing cards off the top of the library and they have to deal with a lot of sudden fast creatures. So, that's a good number of shuffles. Set this down. Let's go ahead and cut it, why not? And get our 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I think I should warn you before I show what these cards are. There's only about 14 lands in the deck, and that's for good reason. Let's go to turn 1, and, well, we actually managed to get 4 lands. That's unusual, but not impossible. That is Aegea's Cradle, yes, and a Dryad Arbor from the Realms, and this is the promo Urza's Saga Foil Forest, and an Unglued Forest, Quirion Ranger, always nice, Hurricane, nice finishing move, gets rid of flyers, and Rancor. We are set, honestly. We've got a good amount of stuff we can do. Sorry, the air conditioner is kicking in. Might have to talk over that, but we'll play a Forest, tap, play the Quirion Ranger, pass our turn, go to turn 2. No damage dealt. Untap, draw. Let's see, we've got plenty of forests. Play the Dryad Arbor, tap, put Rancor on our Quirion Ranger, swing for 3, dealt 3 damage at the end of turn 2. That's pretty good. Let's go to turn 3, untap, draw. We got some of our mill. We're actually playing Mindcrank, which whenever an opponent loses life, that player puts that many cards from the top of their library into their graveyard, and damage dealt by sources without Infect causes loss of life. So, that's part of where this mill strategy goes into. I mean, Mindcrank is an interesting strategy, but you have to deal damage. And frankly, green is very good at dealing damage. So, let's assume that we haven't gotten any blockers out. We'll play the Mindcrank, and then we will swing for 4. At 7 damage, and we've milled 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. We haven't even kept track. They've probably been drawing cards. 1, 2 for drawing. Alright, let's go to turn 4. Might have to go for more turns than this. Draw a card. Altar of the Brood. Sure. Tap. Play the Altar of the Brood. We will play Aegea's Cradle. That's a permanent, so a mill card. And then we will attack for 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4 damage. Goes to 11. And then we're going to tap for 1, 2 creatures, 2 mana, 3 mana. Play Mirri. Altar of the Brood triggers, we mill another card. And yeah, that's pretty good. Did I pick up a land? I think I did. Yeah, I picked up a land. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, it is late. Alright, so now pass our turn to turn 5. They've drawn a card. Turn 5, untap. Let me know if I'm making any mistakes. I trust everybody out there to comment and tell me when I've made a mistake. Draw a card for the turn. Altar of Dementia? Really? Oh boy. Forest. Altar of Dementia is another one of those cards. This is the one from Conspiracy. I've got a ton of them from Tempest because I love the card. Sacrifice a creature. Target player puts a number of cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power from the top of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Just like that. That's the other reason why green makes very good for mill. Okay, we'll tap 2, and we'll go ahead and play Altar of Dementia. Triggers Altar of the Brood. Oh, and we played a forest. So that's for the Altar of Dementia, that's for the forest. And now we will go to combat. Swing for 1. Doesn't tap to attack. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go to 17 damage. And then we will mill 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now, kind of because I just want to see what happens, I'm going to tap for 1, 2, 3 mana. And sacrifice the Quirion Ranger with the Rancor on it to Altar of Dementia, milling 3 more cards. Rancor comes back. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 mana floating. Let's keep track of that. 3 mana floating. I use 1 mana to cast Rancor on Mirri. Or actually, I'll put it on the Dryad Arbor. It comes into play, triggers Altar of the Brood, mill another card. Sacrifice Dryad Arbor with the Rancor. It has power 3 because of Rancor. That means we mill 3 more cards. 1, 2, 3. And the Rancor comes back up to my hand. I'll pay the 1 mana, put Rancor on Mirri. Trigger Altar of the Brood, mill 1 more card off. And I think let's go to turn 6. I mean, there's a lot of stuff we could do, but let's just go ahead and go to turn 6. So, turn 6, they'll have drawn for their turn. I don't know if we should be counting the draw because they're gonna, you know, this mana went away. Draw, Mox Opal, we can play it. Boom, trigger Altar of the Brood, mill 1 more card. Swing out with Mirri for 4 damage. This goes to 21. Mill 1, 2, 3, 4. I shouldn't have sacrificed my creatures, I could have swung out more. But at least you got a cool idea of what I can do with Rancor with Altar of the Brood, or Rancor with Altar of Dementia. Shoot, let's go to turn 7. Or, yeah, let's go to turn 7. I want to see how much we can do here. Let's keep going and see how much damage we're dealing and how much we're milling. I mean, we've milled a lot of cards. Just look at this stack. We've milled a lot of cards. Turn 7, they'll have drawn 1. Might as well just keep track of that. And Elvish Mystic. Tap, play the Elvish Mystic. Mill 1. Swing for 4. Goes to 25. Mill 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I could sacrifice Mirri to mill another 4, put the Rancor on the Elvish Mystic, mill another 1, and sacrifice it, mill another 3, but we'll wait. Let's go on ahead to turn 8. They'll have drawn a card. We'll draw our card. Might of the Masses. Yeah, see, that's another reason why we want to keep more creatures out, because Might of the Masses, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature you control, so getting out as many creatures as possible is a good idea. But I didn't do that, so we'll swing out with the Elvish Mystic and Mirri for 5. And I think we're in the home stretch, so let's just go ahead and 1, 5, 6, 7 damage. Goes to 32. 32 damage, and we'll mill 7 off here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, the other kind of cute thing is we could actually sacrifice Mirri and get back the Rancor and cast the Rancor again on Mirri, milling more cards, and, you know, we'd have enough mana next turn. Actually, we have enough mana right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, we just cast Mirri again, I guess. How many cards is this? Yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. Sacrifice 4. Goes to the command zone. This goes to my hand. 4 cards off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's tap. Let's play the Rancor again on the Elvish Mystic. Comes to play, and that's the last card out of their deck, milled. That's 49 cards milled by turn 8, if I'm not mistaken. Now we got really good getting out these 3, but it's a good example of what this deck can do. So that's kind of like really the best possible thing, and I shouldn't have sacrificed the creatures because they could still deal damage with the Mind Crank. And of course, having Hurricane as a nice finishing move with the Aegea's Cradle and all those creatures, getting rid of flyers is always nice. Getting rid of flyers without targeting is always nice, so yeah. Yep. Now, obviously, this is Mox Opal and this is Aegea's Cradle, so I'm not making any statements. Yeah, these are expensive. Deck doesn't necessarily have to have them, though. I could probably build a version of this deck that costs less than 30 bucks, and it would still play pretty well. And I might take up that challenge to do the same thing. But this was just me showing you that mono green can mill. Mono blue probably could mill with the same idea of the Mind Crank, Alter Dimension, Alter the Brood. So, yeah. I would say mono blue, mono green, or even green and blue with Voral would be a good idea. Chasm Skulker and Hooded Hydra, of course, are really good choices because you could get extra permanents coming into play for Alter the Brood, get extra power to sacrifice to Altar of Dementia to get extra... Ah, gosh, there's just so many things you can do in Tiny Leaders, and it's a lot of fun. But, I mean, this was just one good example of what you can do in mono green. I imagine a lot of people haven't thought about playing mill in mono green, but this deck can do it. I mean, it just ramps. So yeah, all right. I hope everybody's satisfied with what this deck can do, but I might show what it can do against Phyrexia as a challenge. And yeah, I need to come up with a repertoire of what to say at the end of these videos. But until then, I hope everybody's having an okay week. Take care.